You know, I've been waiting for this for quite a lot. Oh, I'm choking. When you're choking, there's nothing quite like Sixers fans' tears to make everything feel good again. So what about it, Sixers fans? Still trust the process? Still want to talk trash? You're too busy crying over your keyboards and your social media. You ain't even doing that. It's funny how quiet y'all got. Like, you should be embarrassed. Like, imagine the foolishness. It was just a few short years ago, if you remember. It's all trust the process, trust the process. Embiid's eventually going to be healthy and play some type of a season. Ben Simmons is a stud. And oh my God, they traded up from 3 to 1. They're going to get Markelle Fultz. And how'd that work out for you? You're like, oh, you haven't let that go? No, I won't let it go. Because 3 years ago, a bunch of y'all were running your mouths like crazy. Saying, oh, you just got to say now, trust the process, trust the process. And I said back then at the time, win something before you start talking shit. Congratulations. After 7+ full years of the process, you built a 6 seed that got swept in the first round of the playoffs, you dopes. Who's bragging now? Woo! Awful quiet, and you should be. Leave it to Philly fans. Talk trash about a team that hasn't done a damn thing yet. If you don't mind, I want to enjoy some more of your tears. Help quench my thirst a little bit. Loaded with vitamin B12 as in, bitch! That's what you get! Yeah! But in all seriousness, you look at the 76ers. And this was supposed to be a real contender in the East this year. You make the trade. You bring in Josh Richardson. You bring in Al Horford. Lord knows for what reason, but they did anyways. They were supposed to have their starting 5 that could contend with anybody. This was going to be the year that they took that next step. They weren't going to get bounced from the playoffs by a flukish 3-4 rim job by Kawhi Leonard at the buzzer. And then the season happened. And I know Sixers fans are probably trying to sit there and convince themselves. Now, if we had Ben Simmons, it would have been different. If we had Ben Simmons, we could have won that series. If we had Ben Simmons, we could have been a real threat. Well, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. And the bottom line is you didn't. And this is still supposed to be a really good team. And it's one thing to go out there and play hard and just get beat. But y'all got beat. Like, that's a joke. An embarrassment. You still have a good team. You shouldn't be getting swept out of the first round of any damn playoffs. I mean, now what? I see the Sixers fired Brett Brown today. So you're back to square one when it comes to the head coaching position. There ain't no guarantees you bring somebody else in it's going to be any better. And you look at this team and just the way it's constructed. You bring in Horford. And Barkley kept hammering on this on the TNT studio show, talking about who's Horford going to guard? What's he going to bring to the table? Who's he going to guard? Exactly. Who's he going to guard? And you just look at the Sixers, man, and talent is nice and talent is great. But talent doesn't automatically make you a winner. Like, I know Joel Embiid is cool, and he says cool things, and he's a character, and he's a personality, and all of that is great. But at the end of the day, what the hell does that really matter? And even when you look at Ben Simmons, another victim of the Jenner curse, speaking of the Kardashian Jenner curses, why do these ball players keep sticking their tadpoles in those oceans? Like, y'all can't be that thirsty or desperate or that hungry for clout. What the hell's wrong with y'all? But Ben Simmons, he was injured this time. Before it's been Embiid, or it's Simmons, or it's both of them. Like, you're in such a hurry to rush off and get rid of Jimmy Butler. Well, Tobias Harris is going to save the day. He ain't do nothing. So what do you got now? You're a team with two injury-prone superstars who aren't really exactly superstars that you really haven't done a whole hell of a lot with. You are 7+ years into this process. 7 turning to 20 really quickly. And take it from a Bulls fan, you think it's all fun and games until another decade plus goes by and you're going to wonder what the hell has gone by with your time. At least I have 6 championships in 8 years in the 90s to still pathetically grip onto. You got Big Mo, Little Mo, The Doctor, Andrew Toney, Ivoroni, Novoloni, 6s all the way. And that was 1983! Hey, you can say I had the Iverson years of 2001. He's MVP, made the finals. But again, that was almost 20 years ago. Like, how different would this team be if they weren't the idiots that traded up from 3-1 to go get Markelle Fultz? Imagine how stupid they got to feel in that organization now. Oh, we traded up to get the vastly inferior player that washed out within 2 years. And watch Boston and have Jason Tatum bounces from the first round. Oopsie daisy. The whole trust the process thing was crap to begin with. Like, what the hell legs did Sam Hinkie have to stand on? What type of credibility did he have? None. I know it's easy for fans to talk about rebuilds, and they love the thought of accumulating all this draft pick currency and everything else, but at some point in time, you got to draft guys that could play. And, you know, when a guy's first claim to fame is sitting there and drafting Nerlens Noel and Michael Carter-Williams, and in that draft, if I remember correctly, passing on somebody who, I don't know, the Greek Freak! You know, then the next year turning around, who wants Porzingis? We want Jahlil Okafor. That'll work out for you. That'll work out. Well, that even the next year doesn't even matter at this point. Hell no! Clown show. Absolute clown show. And I'm enjoying the tears of the Sixers fans, although not mysteriously at all, they have largely gone quiet. But I mean, the serious question is, I'm giving you all a lot of crap and I'm ribbing on you because frankly you deserve it. And you know you do. It's one thing to dish it out. You got to be able to take it too. 3 years ago, without any reasons, no proof of anything, you idiotically came after me. Well, today's revenge. But what did the Sixers do now? Like, do you really think you're going to have a championship contending team there? And even just bringing in a new coach is magically going to change everything? Do you automatically think that you could sit there and have Embiid and Simmons actually healthy again for a full season and actually make it through the playoffs both healthy? Boy, that's asking and reaching for a whole hell of a lot here. Like, do you envision Tobias Harris getting a whole lot better? Josh Richardson getting a whole lot better? Like what's your end game here? Where do you get better? Because you don't need to just get a little bit better. You need to get quite a bit better. And if you sit there and say, well, if the Sixers would have been able to play some playoff games at home, that may have made a difference, but they still wouldn't have won that first-round series. Like, what's next? You don't have a ton of draft pick capital that matters. You don't have any cap space. You gave big money to Tobias Harris and Al Horford, along with paying Simmons and Embiid. Like, I think personally, this Sixers team is a lot closer to being blown up and having the whole thing start over again than it is actually being a championship contender. You know, you've heard reports and seen things in the past about friction between Simmons and Embiid. Like, how much longer are they going to be able to peacefully coexist? And even just the overall structure of the team. You know, Joel Embiid is a tremendous player. For the 65-70% of the season, you might actually get him. But he's a dying breed. He's one of the best centers in the league. And what does that mean? He's your best player. Okay, how's that working out for other NBA teams where their center is their best player? Exactly. It is a wing-dominated, three-ball-dominated game now. And guys like Embiid are freaking dinosaurs. Which is exactly all about the foolishness of, I'm going to draft Nerlens Noel, and I'm going to draft this frickin' center, Joel Embiid, and then I'm going to draft your little Okafor. You'd have swore to God Jerry Krause was running the draft, not Sam Hinkie for the fucking 76ers. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, Sixers fans. Like, what is next for you guys? You get a new coach, and then what? Just sprinkle some magic beans, and you think everything's going to get all figured out? It's not. You waited all of this time to get swept in the first round of the playoffs. It is much more likely that last year's playoff performance is going to be the peak out of what you see out of this core team than sitting there and thinking they're going to be in the NBA Finals in the next year or two. Because if we are actually living in the land of reality, what in the hell makes you think that they are anywhere close to that? And that whole thing about, well, the process ended. No, it didn't. The whole process should culminate with getting to the finals and being in position to win an NBA championship. And they're not. And they're not gonna. And admittedly, I'm going to enjoy your tears and love every single minute of it.